Okay, think current, not tide, when planning your fishing trip. This is important. This is it. This is what you need to know. And you're going to see it on your charts. Okay, tide on page 8. You put the vertical movement of the water. It's measured in feet, high or low. Okay, that's how they measure the tide. Okay, current is horizontal movement of the water measured in knots. Flood current is an incoming tide. If you think tide, that's what that is. A ebb current is an outgoing tide. That's what happens when that goes, because this is going from, let's just say, to make it not going dead north-south, but outgoings, let's say it's coming from the north, headed south. If it's incoming or a flood current, it's going from the south coming to the north. But it's not really that. There's degrees that'll tell you, because when you start drifting like the bridge or something, you'll see you're not going straight north-south. A lot of times you're moving, you're just kind of moving across it. Okay, but it's going out or coming in. Tides and current readings are predictions. Remember that. They're predictions. They might tell you that. You get out there and you go, holy mackerel, look at this buoy. It's coming in. It's coming in strong, and it's supposed to be out. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be ebbing right now. It's supposed to be going out. It has to do with the winds. It has to do with a lot of stuff. In the summertime, you can almost count on these. Okay, but when there's different weather patterns coming across, like especially now probably, you could go out there, it's supposed to be ebbing and it could be flooding. So just remember that, because when you go out there, and I still do it now sometimes, I'll go right off to a buoy. I want to see what it's doing. You look at it and you go, well, it looks like it's going that way, or you turn your motor off and you're floating that way, but then the wind's blowing that way and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I got to make sure. Okay, and I'd make sure, because I want to I want to make sure I'm fishing in the right place. That's all. So if I do check something, these are stuff around us, not far. Run up there, look at it. Okay, we're cool. We're doing it right. And if not, we're going to do it another way. So you have to be able to all of a sudden go, man, that goes that plan. You need 2 plans just in case. 3 plans sometimes is even better. 4 plans, and you get to 4 plans, you get confused. Usually they're in the fishery. You know, have as many plans as you can, but I'm going to make it simple for you where you don't have to do all that. But I got a lot of plans. I have to. The next 5 steps are very important. Basic understanding of why and how to use currents instead of the tide when planning your fishing trip. Anywhere on the salt water, when you're fly or light tackle fishing, trolling, live lining, I don't care what you're doing. Okay, if you pay attention to this, whether you're out in the middle of the bay or closer to a structure when you're trolling, this is going to help you. Live line and everything else. This is a tide chart. You look at the date up there. I could just erase that, but this way, it's on here. Okay. This is when I made this part up. Okay. This changes every day, anytime. So the date up there really doesn't matter. What matters is understanding what we're going to talk about here. Don't worry about the date. Okay, but it's up on the top of the chart. It has your highs and lows. Okay, now remember, this is a tide, so it's going to have high and low. It's not going to have ebb and flood. It's not going to have the flood and the ebb tide. Okay, it's telling you it's going to be at its lowest at 12:07 a.m. at 0.4 foot on wherever it is in this area. It's going to be high at 7:30 in the morning at 2 foot. That's how high it's going to be. Then it's going to drop back down to 7.7 feet 6 hours later, and so on. And when you look at the chart right here, you're going to see during that time of day at 7:30, it's going to be high tide. The old rule was, let's see if we see it on. Let's go over. Yes, this is what, and still a lot of people say this. Okay, fishing the tide, right? Be at a location an hour and a half before and after a high or low tide at a specific location. You still hear that. You talk to a lot of guys, that's what they think. Okay, and I'm going to show you where that doesn't work. Okay. Using this method, this is North Point. Fishing during these times would be incoming. You would start at 6. That'd be an hour and a half before. High tide's at 7:31 when you look at your chart, and then you're going to stop at 9 o'clock. If you use that hour and a half before, hour and a half after. Now we're on a different type of chart. This is a current chart. This is what it looks like. Okay, it has some are up, some markings are down. Okay, when you look at it, this is the flood. This is the ebb tide. The higher they go, the faster it's moving. It's coming in fast. It's going out fast right in this realm here, right in this area. And at the time we just looked for the tides, now we're looking at the same spot, exact same spot, but we're looking where the current's going to be moving the fastest. It's going to be moving the fastest on North Point at 6 a.m. in the morning. At 6 a.m. it's going to be flooding. It's going to be what you would call an incoming tide is what you would call it, but it's a flooding current. Here's the times it's going to move the fastest when you look at this chart. It starts at 0.0230 a.m. When you get down to 5 o'clock, it's moving 0.4 knots. 5:30, 0.4, 6 o'clock, 0.5, 6:30, 0.5. Then it goes 7 o'clock, it's slowing down, 0.4, 7:30, 0.4, slowing down. Okay, that's what it's doing. So you have to select a time to fish this. And you want to fish it during the fastest current, whether it's coming in or going out. And there it is, right there is what we're using for this example. Yes.
Is this made from the same software that did the first one here?
Yes. Exact same thing. Everything. Yeah. And it's on there somewhere on your book. Yeah. Same day, same software, same everything. Yeah.
So this is not on the website. This is.
No, it's not on the website. No, it's in your book. Okay. No, but there's areas I'll go over that where you can find this stuff, right? You probably got it. I got it on my cell phone. Okay. All right, now, fishing the current at North Point, where it's moving the swiftest, coming across it. The best time to start at the flood tide is 5 a.m. That's when it's going to be moving at 0.4 knots. The maximum flood is 6 o'clock, where it's going to be coming in at 0.5, 0.5, 0.4, 0.4, and there's a time when you say, okay, I can't just keep going down to 0. So I always look at it, I get the maximum, I usually go up 1, and sometimes down 2, but I just went down 1 there. Because that's from 5, you can fish that area with fast current from 5 in the morning to 7:30 in the morning. That's going to give you 2.5 hours of fishing in swift current. That's when they're going to eat, the swift current. Not the tide. They're going by the current because the bait's getting pushed up there from wherever it is because that current's pushing it up there. Once that current starts to slow down, now the bait can go ahead and start moving wherever it wants to hide. But when it's moving fast, they don't have any challenge. That's it. Wherever we're going for the flow, that's where we're headed. So that's why the current's most important. 2.5 hours you fish. That's the most productive, the best chance of being a productive location. That doesn't mean it's gonna be. And I'm gonna show you ways to put something together. Well, so I go to North Point, yeah, Tom said, you know, it's moving faster, there should be fish here. No, 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 no. That's the best time to be there, that time of day. Okay. Fish normally eat when the current is swift. Swift current forces the bait fish to bunch up in specific locations. The game fish become active because they only have to use less energy. They're lazy. They'll get up on North Point or structures around that area where they don't have to use a lot of, they don't have to chase the bait. They don't have to do anything but open their mouth. That's what they like to do. They don't like to chase anything. When the bait stops, when the bite stops, move to another location with swift current. We're putting that together. Now here's side by side. This might help you understand it a little better. Okay, what we just went over, here's the charts side by side. This side is the current, is the tide side. And there's your tide table you looked at. General rule, there it is again. We talked about that. If you take the total fishing time, you're going to fish there 3 hours because that's supposed to be the best time, right? You're only going to be fishing swift current out of those 3 hours, an hour and a half. So you've wasted an hour and a half, more likely, of sitting there because that's the good old rule. Here's where the fishing current here's where the current slows down. 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. You're sitting there, if you're fishing there, this is a waste. Shouldn't be there. Okay. Because when you look at the current chart from the same software program, you can do this, I can do it right now on my phone and show you this today if you want. Here's what it's going to be from 5 o'clock to 7:30. After 7:30, I'm out of there. If I'm just getting there at 7 because it's on the run and I'm going to check it out, if I don't, at 7:30, I'm out of there unless the fish are biting. If the fish are biting, I don't care where you are. I don't care what time of day it is. I'm telling you, don't leave them. Because when you leave them to run to go get something else, the time you're running is the time you're wasting that they're going to eat. And when you get there, you're going to go, oh man, where'd they go? Okay. Unless you want to do that to go get bigger fish. But if you're out there to catch fish, hang in with them fish. A lot of times the bigger ones will come up in there. So you can look at those in the future. You can see where that works, and you need the current. I put little X's in your thing there. You can see, because that's the tide part. It's kind of say, don't even mess with that. Now here's something. This is online. All right. This is Thomas Point. On what day we have here? We have 3/10/2016. Oh, I must have made that up sitting at home one day on the 3/6, whatever, 3/10. Okay, and again, this is like, okay, you saw the old chart, but here it is, it's the same thing. You got the same thing here, and here's when the current's going to be the fastest or maximum, and it will tell you that. You can put your time here, your location, how many hours. It's a pretty neat place site. Chesapeake Bay. Here you have the website. You have the URL right there in front of you, and you can pick different parts of the bay to get this out of. Okay, but I just picked Thomas Point because a lot of people do Thomas Point. All right. Now what I'm trying to show you here is to round off to the next number. It's going to be slack, round off to the next half hour. Oh, well, when you're making this up. All right, I went to the chart, and right here at 5:45 a.m. it's going to be maximum flood, or as fast as it's going to come in flooding at 5:45 a.m. if I'm out there on that day. I'm going to start fishing there from 4:30 to 7:30. After 7:30, I'm out of there. Just like the chart you saw, but you're putting the times down. A lot of this doesn't have every half hour for you. You're going to have to do that. I'm going to show you this a couple times, and it's on your chart. And then, I'm going back to Thomas Point, somewhere between 10 a.m. and 1:30. Preferably somewhere around 11:30 if possible. It's going to be flooding, it's going to be ebbing or outgoing as fast as it can at that time during that day. And there's where you can get your charts at. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay? Because when I do mine, I'll sit there and do them at home, and I'll just write it down in a book, and I'll put the times right there. The day I'm going, I'll put the times right next to it. I'll put when to start, I'll put a circle, that's going to be the fastest. I'll put the number in there, and I'll put another one would be 10 o'clock, then I'd have in a circle, 11:30, I'd round it out to 11:30, and then I'd have 1:30. That's telling me when I look at that little book I have, okay, that's when I'll be there. That's the times it's going to be good there. Okay, do it online, and that's how you can do it. Okay, a productive plan you can be accomplished prior to or during the trip. I'll tell you what, let's take a break. Let's take a 10-minute break. How about that? We'll come back on that. I'm going to go get a water, and I'm going to come right